we're going to look at finding equivalent fractions or seeing if two fractions are equivalent. I have some examples here that I'm going to show you. If you look at 1/3 and 2/6, there are many ways to tell if they're equivalent, but what we practiced in class is to draw two fraction strips, split them up, color them in, and see if they are equal. So for 1/3 and 2/6, we make two fraction strips. The top one will be divided into thirds, the bottom into sixths. I'm going to make thirds and then cut each third in half to make sixths. I'm going to color in 1/3 and 2/6. And as you can tell, they match up perfectly, so 1/3 and 2/6 is equivalent. If you look at 1/3 and 2/8, you make two fraction strips, split the first one in thirds, split the second one in half. I'm going to do each half in half, and then divide those in half, and then we're going to find out if they're equivalent. So if I have 1/3, and then I color in 2/8, you can see that 2/8 is less than 1/3, so they are not equivalent. If you look at 2/8 and 1/4, to check to see that they are equivalent, you can draw two fraction strips, the top one in eighths, the bottom one in fourths. I'm going to do both of them in fourths to start. To do eighths, I'm going to split each fourth in half, and then I'm going to color in 2/8, 1/4, and if you look, 2/8 and 1/4 matches up perfectly. So 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. If you look at 3/4 and 6/8, and you want to know if they're equivalent, you can draw two fraction strips, split them into fourths and eighths. I'll split them both into fourths to start. And then on the bottom, I'll divide each fourth in half for eighths, color in 3/4, color in 6/8. Now, as you can see, they are equivalent. They take up the same amount of space. If you want to pause the video, you can go ahead and try these problems on your paper and then check to see if they're right. So pause now if you'd like to try. Okay, here are the answers. 3/6 and 1/2. Many of you probably already knew that it was a half because half of 6 is 3. But to prove it, you can draw two fraction strips. The first one can be, both of them can be cut in half. The first one, thirds on each side to make 6. Color in 3/3. Color in 1/2. And they take up the same amount of space on the fraction bar. 2/6 and 1/4. Two fraction bars. The first one, I'm going to cut them both in half. The first one will have 3 on one side, and the fourths will have halves cut in half to make fourths. If I color in 2/6 and I color in 1/4, you can see that they are not equivalent. One way to know that they're not equivalent in third grade is because 6 and fourths do not go together. You can't count by 4 to get to 6. That's only in third grade to tell that they will not be equivalent. So these two are not equal. If you look at 2/3 and 4/6, thirds and 6 do go together. I'm going to make them on the fraction bars. The top one's going to be thirds. I'll do the bottom one in thirds and cut each third in half to make 6. And by doing this, that's the best way to get the most accurate fraction bar you can get. So you'll have 2/3 and you'll have 4/6. And as you can see, they take up the same amount of space, so they are equal. 4/6 and 1/3. The top one will be cut, well, both will be cut into thirds. To make the to make the fraction bar thirds, you will cut them both into thirds. The top one will make each third cut in half. You will color in 4/6 and 1/3. And as you can see, they are definitely not equal. If we had colored in one more third, 2/3 would have been equal, but 4/6 and 1/3